Alright guys, today we're going to be breaking some myth, guys. I'm going to be showing you 4 high pull variations that are going to absolutely explode your traps and your neck. And the myth I'm going to be breaking today is that high pulls destroy your shoulders. Guys, high pulls fix your shoulders when you do them right. So watch the whole episode, learn exactly how to do high pulls, because if you are avoiding to do high pulls just because you think they will damage your shoulder, you are missing on the biggest gains you can have on your traps. So time to build some monster traps and neck. Ow. So one myth that I really hate in the gym is that high pulls are dangerous and they destroy your shoulders. There's not an exercise that can destroy your joints. The wrong execution of any exercise can destroy your joints, and high pull done wrong can be absolutely deadly for your shoulder joint. But if you learn to do them, that's the absolute ultimate way to build big, massive traps, build upper back power, and even in a couple of the exercises I will be showing you today, lower back and upper back connectivity. So guys, look at this. Everybody knows if you want to be building big ass traps, which exercise is the go-to exercise to build traps? Very simple. Shrugs, right? Well, shrugs is just a partial high pull. So shrugs is just the initiation of a high pull. So if you skip continuing through and doing the high pull and only doing shrugs, which is just the start of a high pull, that means you're always training in a short range of motion in that movement. You're never doing the full range of motion. So imagine a biceps curl. You want to be doing a full curl, right? Imagine if you would always be training in the initial part of a biceps curl. I mean, you would be building something in the biceps, but you would definitely not be building any big ass biceps. And it's exactly the same for your traps. So whichever shrug you're doing, if it's a barbell, if it is a dumbbell, if it's kettlebells, if it's cable cross shrugs, if you're never doing a high pull, you are just doing the beginning of the movement and you're not getting the full range of motion, that means you're not getting the full gains. But today I'm going to teach you exactly how to fix your high pulls and how to maybe for the first time in your life start feeling it on the traps without feeling any pain in your shoulders, guys. And I'm going to be giving you 4 different variations of high pulls that all have a different function when it comes to building big ass traps, guys. So understand one thing about your traps muscles. They hold the weight on your hands. Everything you ever carry, it is carried on your traps. So it is a much more strong and endurant muscle than, for example, your chest. Traps, you have to be absolutely killing them totally for them to grow. That means you have to be using heavy ass explosive movement and you have to be using TIP, time in pain. And today we're going to be doing 2 exercises that are absolutely heavy, explosive and total burnout by weight. And we're going to be doing 2 exercises that are total burnout by TIP and time under tension, guys. So big traps, big neck is one of the first muscles you see on somebody when you meet them, right? Most often we wear t-shirts or we wear jackets. The neck and the size of your traps are always visible. So guys, skipping this, you're doing yourself a big ass disfavor in how you look and how you function, because your traps is not only this, your traps go halfway throughout your back and finish somewhere around here, guys. So your traps are responsible for what? For the most important thing you can have when it comes to functioning ultimately as a human, not only in the gym, the power position. If your traps are being trained wrong, which most often happens in a shrug, for example, that means you're training your body in a non-power position. How can you expect to be in a power position when you're teaching your body and making your body stronger to be in an anti-power position, guys? So this episode today is going to fix your training on high pulls, your training on traps, and your training on the power position. So let's go, guys. Time to get into power position. And the first exercise is the godfather of all shrug or high pull exercises, and that is a barbell high pull. But we're going to be doing with the absolute hardest grip, with the grip it was intended to be done with, and that is the snatch grip. So you have to understand one thing, guys. Where does the gym exercises, where does gymming even come from? It all comes from Olympic weightlifting. So Olympic weightlifting as a sport existed before gym as a cultural phenomenon existed. And in Olympic weightlifting you have 2 movements. You have a snatch which is initiated by a wide grip deadlift, continued by a wide grip high pull, and caught in an overhead squat. Now, the second movement is a clean and a jerk. And these two movements, guys, are meant to be done the way that they are done in Olympic weightlifting, to give the maximum outlet of power and to let your body function the absolute best way it can. That means in a high pull, you want to be doing wide grip because that is the absolute most functional way and the absolute most secure way for your shoulder joint. If you are having a tight grip and you are doing a high pull, what happens is your shoulders have much easier to roll forward and come in a bad position. That doesn't mean it's impossible to have them in a good position. Of course it is, but it is much harder. But in a wide grip, it's pretty much impossible to roll your shoulders forward. It's just an unnatural thing that your body just won't do. So when you want to learn how to do a high pull, get a wide grip. Now that will require you to go down in weight a little bit, but the range of motion, the tension and the explosivity of that exercise will train your traps better than doing a heavy ass shrugs, because you're doing a much bigger movement and you're working much more in the eccentric phase. So on a shrug, you explode up and you rarely hold down on the way down. So the eccentric doesn't work. But when you're doing a high pull, you cannot just let the bar fly down because it's coming from a higher position and it will pretty much be taking your body to fall down forward. So you have to hold against, guys. So the key to think about here is number one, grip. Get a good grip. And the war grips, guys, they are magical for you guys that don't like chalk. Now, if you're using chalk, they do exactly the same function. But if you're not using chalk and your gym doesn't allow it, or you just don't like to get dirt in your hands, this locks your grip like glue. This is super glue for your grips, guys. The reason I'm doing all of these products is because they actually function and I use them myself. I either use chalk or the grips and been doing that for 15 years or longer. Now, the wide grip, guys, what you want to be focusing on there is your pinky has to be squeezed. What will happen when you're grabbing wide? It's going to be a different and uncomfortable position for your hand, and your hand will want to squeeze with your trigger finger, but the pinky will just be there hanging. No, you have to focus on really squeezing with the pinky, and your focus from your head is this finger. Those three fingers will grip by themselves, but this you have to focus on. Squeeze the pinky and you will feel a totally different connection. Now, how wide the grip? The wider, the harder. That means the wider, the better. So just try yourself out. It depends on your grip strength and on your mobility. So as wide grip as possible. The second thing you want to be thinking about is when you come up and grab the bar, you roll your shoulders backwards. That means you're getting in a power position. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together. You're tensing your back. You're squeezing your chest out. Everything is in a power position. No matter where my hands are, it's still non-stop staying in a power position. Number three, it's okay to take some speed, but the speed comes from your hips, guys. It is not affecting my power position at all. When I'm pulling, my power position stays stuck. This is key. Now, if you can't do it just with your body weight and just with your muscles themselves, get the power positioner down here, guys. This one will do it for you until your body gets so strong and so used to having power position that it becomes in your DNA and it becomes your standard. Now, guys, the explosion doesn't happen upwards. The explosion happens backwards. So when you start exploding and pulling, you're not pulling up, you're pulling back. Think about this. This is key, guys. You want to be pulling the bar behind you as much as possible, and trust me, just doing that will pull the bar as high up as possible, but in the right movement and in the right movement pattern. Because if you think that you're going to be pulling forward, what's going to happen is you're going to just start leaning forward and your elbows is going to be going slightly forward and your shoulder is going to be wanting to round forward, which is going to damage your shoulder. So key here, guys, is pull backwards and then just max it out, go as heavy as you can and explode. So trust me, this looks like cheating. It's not cheating. It's just because it's a heavy ass weight for some small muscles that are this part of the traps. So this is how it looks, guys. And shoulders rounded backwards, power position and explosion. Woo! Guys, this, you won't feel any burning feeling in the exercise. You will have to drop the bar and somewhere around now I start feeling how my trap starts pumping out with blood, tensing up. Amazing power exercise in general, but for traps is an absolute killer, guys. All right, that's the first explosive of 2, but next one we're doing isolation. So in this episode we're jumping explosivity, isolation, explosivity, isolation. Let's roll, guys, but first subscribe. And the next exercise is going to be a single-handed monkey race high pull, and we're doing that with the bands. Now if you guys don't have the bands, you can be doing it in a cable cross. The bands are much better for TIP, so that means time in pain. This one doesn't let you rest nowhere. On a cable cross, when you're coming up, there will be a position where your muscle doesn't have to tense maximally, and a band, the higher you come, the higher you pull, the harder it pulls you down, so it's much more work in TIP. So the bands, they are magical. If you don't have them and you want to get them, this is where you can buy them, and if not, do this on a cable cross. Now guys, what is the philosophy? On the bands, it happens automatically. On a cable cross, you don't want to be far away because you don't want it to be angled in that way. The weight has to be angled straight down, guys. So grab onto the band, step onto it, choose your resistance, and in a cable cross, get to as close to the cable cross as possible, guys. And now what you want to focus on is that you are extending maximally downwards, so you're letting the band pull your traps all the way down. And next is you are pulling as high as you possibly can. Now what is key in this exercise, guys, don't let your hand be twisting inwards. Your hand will want to twist like this. You try to focus on keeping it in the whole movement in this position, not letting it twist inwards. And for that is the same system as in the high pulls with the barbell. Focus on keeping with the pinky, guys. So now this is how we're rolling. And the more tired I get, the more my hand wants to twist, and the body wants to do always the easiest way. So whatever happens when your hand twists, to be honest, I don't even know what is happening, but I just know one thing: if my body wants to do it, that's the easiest way. I work against it. So keep the hand fully straight. And another thing, when you're working with bands, guys, you see how slow I am pulling. I cannot explode, I cannot use any explosivity, and the reason we're doing this exercise is for TIP and time under tension. This is not supposed to be explosive. On a cable cross, when you're getting tired, you will start using explosivity. So the bands, they totally take that away, guys. So this one is the first of the isolation exercises. Smash it out, max your reps out, focus on pulling all the way down, all the way up, and mind-muscle connection with your traps. Focus on actually pulling with the trap and coming as high up as possible. And then, guys, next, again, explosivity. Trust me, these 4 exercises or these 4 ways to doing high pulls, try every single one of them, and I guarantee you're gonna start falling in love with the absolute best exercise that there is for traps, which actually is the high pull. And the next explosive way of doing high pulls is high pull with a kettlebell, guys. Why with a kettlebell? Because the kettlebell makes sure that you will be in a power position, and here we can actually be doing the tight grip, which changes some small things from the wide grip. So when you're doing wide grip, of course every single part of your traps is working, but the wide grip is focusing a little bit more on the part that connects to your neck when it comes to the upper part of the traps. When it comes to the lower and mid part of the traps, the tight grip and the wide grip is doing exactly the same, except of in a wide grip it's harder. But when you're doing the upper part, when you're focusing here, what's happening is that that part is being trained more on a wide grip, and when you have a tight grip, is more this part that is between your shoulder and your trap, guys. So now, why does the kettlebell make sure that you are in a power position? Because you will be swinging the kettlebell. It's just that you will be directing the swing of the kettlebell to come up in a high pull instead of a kettlebell swing. And when you're doing that, if you don't stay in a power position and you swing a heavy ass kettlebell and you are out of power position, you are going to automatically fall forward. So in this exercise, you won't be able to be doing this wrong. Even if you don't have the power positioner on, even if you don't have a good mind-muscle connection to keep your power position, just doing this exercise is going to be forcing your body to automatically do it. And trust me, your body knows how to keep itself from falling over or from breaking itself down. So guys, it's very simple. Take a heavy ass kettlebell and now You've seen my videos on the kettlebell swings, right? If you haven't, go back and watch them because they are fucking amazing and everything is explained. But guys, what do you want to be focusing on in a kettlebell swing? You want to be as close to your groin as possible. You don't want the kettlebell to be coming down towards your knees because you're losing all the connection. So in a kettlebell swing, the moving engine is your hips. So you get into a power position, keeping the kettlebell, and just a small movement. Your hips go backwards and your hips explode, fully tense the glutes, extension in the hips, and that is what is moving the kettlebell forward. But the kettlebell is not going forward because we're doing a kettlebell high pull. So directly when you have locked out your hips, you are pulling high and all the way up. So lean backwards, guys. But trust me, just doing this, your body will do all of these movements by themselves. So guys, very simple. Look how it looks in action. Focus on pulling towards your chest as high up as possible. And you want the kettlebell to be slightly angled, which is going to happen automatically if you hold it hard. So make sure that you have the wall grips on, or you're using chalk because you want to have a good grip. If you have a bad grip, the kettlebell is going to be sliding around and the connection to the traps won't be perfect, the movement won't be done perfectly. So this is how it looks in action, guys. Power position. And start with small swings, get into the movement and explode. Now guys, you can see the angle of the kettlebell, right? It was angled like that. The reason I could maintain that is the grips. This doesn't let things slide. This is like super glue for your hands. Bam. Once it's locked, it stays where it locked, guys. So learn this movement. It's a crazy one, and this one you can be doing much heavier than the barbell wide grip shrugs. Now this kettlebell is too small for me to challenge my traps on this, but if you have a proper gym, you have some good kettlebells. And if you don't, invest at home in some good kettlebells. I will be doing more kettlebell workouts on this channel. How, guys? One more isolation exercise to go. Let's roll. And the next isolation exercise on a cable cross, and this have to be done on a cable cross. You can do it with bands, but to be honest, cable cross is going to be much better for that, because this is, sure, time under tension and time in pain, but this is more about the angles and about the tension that you're creating with your muscles, not with the weight. So here, cable cross is going to be the best. Now what you need, guys, you're gonna need a long ass ropes. So you can't be doing this one on one rope only. You need two ropes, guys, because we're gonna be doing a high pull and continuing behind the back. Why? Because if you would be doing a high pull just with a normal barbell, shoulder is gonna be in a shitty ass position. Or with a straight bar on the cable cross, shoulder is gonna be in a shitty position. If you would be doing it with a short rope, so with one rope only, sure, it's better than a straight bar, but you're not doing the full range of motion, because the full range of motion is going to tense your traps maximally when your hand starts coming a little bit behind, when your elbows coming behind your body, and that can only happen when you have two long ropes. So guys, very simple. Grab onto the ropes, and now you're grabbing them in this way. Pull back, and you want the angle to be pulling you forward, so you take a step back. You don't want to be exactly in front of the cable cross pulling straight up. You want to be pulling in an angle. This puts more pressure on the mid traps, guys. And now pulling up, use your thumb for direction. Pulling up, and the thumb has to come and point behind your back, guys. Make sure to pull the bands apart, so you don't want to be going close to your face, you want to be pulling them apart. And now the connection wants to come up as high to your chest as possible. Mad exercise, guys, and make sure to use the thumbs for direction. The thumbs are pointing behind your back. They are not coming in front, they are not coming upwards, they want to be pointing behind your back, because that forces you to tense the middle of the traps maximally at the end of the movement, and then just focus on controlling it nicely on the way back and do a full extension. So let the bands or let the cable cross pull you all the way down and restarting from the traps. Guys, trust me, these 4 ways of doing high pulls are absolutely magical, and every single one is amazing for a different reason. Try all of them out and you will fall in love with high pulls, which is the ultimate trap exercise. Oh guys, time to build, man.